there, everybody, and today I'm here to talk about the Darkness Plight of Ninja Turtles. So, if you didn't see the last episode, this is where Splinter has fought the Super Shredder, and we see, I guess not really previously on what happened, but it flashes forward of what happened in the last episode where we see Splinter, I guess, sacrifice himself with the Super Shredder. We see what has happened. Splinter has fallen down into a deep cliff, with the Shredder landing on a platform while Splinter has fallen deep into the hole. And this episode is where the Turtles try to fight off Super Shredder, while Mikey and Donnie try to go look for Splinter. But they do manage to get away, as they are speculating if Splinter is alive or not. But Splinter himself, I'm kind of skipping a bit, but Splinter himself, as he has fallen down into the hole, he has broken his leg and he has limited resources, as he can only wait for hope if the Turtles find him. But when the Turtles do make it back to the lair, they discuss their next move, as they're all going to be put in the teams to go rescue Splinter. And Casey Jones shows up, who was not in the last episode, and they tell him what has happened. And yeah, Shredder, he has become a bigger threat, as he is becoming weakened from his mutagen, because it's just too unstable, as he is ready for more mutagen to keep his strength. But Tiger Claw is telling him no, because it's just too much for him. But Shredder's reaching his limits, where he now is willing to beat up Tiger Claw, a man he respects a lot. But as this is going on, the Turtles are put into teams. Leo's with Karai and April. Mikey, Donnie, Raph, and Casey go back to the cave to go rescue Splinter. But once they get to the sewer area, I think that's where they try to track where I think Super Shredder could be. But April uses her psychic powers to find Shredder, and we get this hallway scene of Shredder walking through the sewer, and if this is a horror movie, it would look terrifying. But while Mikey and Donnie use their rock climbing gear they've been using this a lot, but to find Splinter, Raph and Casey are just patrolling the area, but Bebop and Rocksteady are on their trail, as they do notice them, and they blend in as they're making their next move. I almost thought Bebop and Rocksteady were going to cut Donnie's and Mikey's line when they were going to go deep underground to find Splinter, but it does lead to a fight between Casey, Raph, and Bebop and Rocksteady. But while this is all going on, Splinter has a vision, that of the Rat King. So he has returned, but it's not what you think. And the Rat King is trying to have him embrace his rat form, his mutant form, and just embrace that he's a rat. And he actually tries to have him eat rats. And this is paying homage to those Mirage comics. So I don't know if you noticed, but this goes deep into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle lore, where Splinter actually falls into a cave, I'm pretty sure, and he actually eats rats. And it's cannibalism, but this Splinter does not give in, but he does take the form of the rat, where he is covered by rats, and he fights like a ginormous version of the Rat King, who is just going all in at his psyche, and Splinter's trying to get away, and he's just hissing as all this is going on. But while that's going on, I think Raph and Casey have a fight with Bebop and Rocksteady, as I mentioned earlier, and I think he uses Casey ends up actually hitting Bebop in the nose. He's twice, and then Bebop is complaining about it. But the two end up fighting, and I like the way they actually took down Rocksteady, because I think they tricked Rocksteady into falling to his death and he lands on the ground, but then he is drop kicked by his hammer. I thought that scene was funny, as they do actually use him as like a rhinoceros. I think Bebop, they easily take him out. So yeah, that was a cool fight scene. But while this is all going on, Leo, April, Karai do encounter the Super Shredder in the sewer, but they manage to get up to the surface. And this is where the show gets really intense, as Super Shredder does not care about Karai anymore, as he literally picks up a truck. He does get slammed by one, but it doesn't do much damage to him, as he is super strong still, and he manages to lift a truck that as a passenger flew out, and he literally froze the truck at Karai, but she was just barely hit. But because April used her powers to throw the truck back at Shredder, she managed to survive it, but it's taking a toll when he fights Leonardo. And the Super Shredder ends up actually like crushing Leo, and he ends up like throwing him. And the line where Leo's like, "Ugh, this is gonna hurt," and then he is thrown near a group of people, and they run off. As Super Shredder's now like this giant being threat that just comes out of nowhere. But the day is saved by Karai when she actually manages to punch the Shredder's heart. But Shredder tries to say, so it shows that he has a little bit inside of him. He tries to tell her that he keeps lying to himself, saying like, "You're my daughter." But Karai's like, "I'm not your daughter." And she punches the heart, and it actually causes Shredder to puke out mutagen, because the mutagen is just becoming super unstable for him. But Karai tries to finish it, but she is stopped by Tiger Claw, who freezes their way, and Shredder and him escape in a truck. But Leo's badly hurt, as April tells her that. But they go back to the lair. But for good news, Donnie and Mikey end up actually finding Splinter, as he has gone through his demons against the Rat King, and he ends up falling, and he ends up finding, it turns out it's the skeleton remains of Rat King. So yeah, that scene was terrifying. It was wild. So yeah, it's revealed that Rat King did die, and all the way back in season 2 when he fell off that cliff when fighting Splinter blindfolded, he ended up falling to his death, and now he's just a skeleton. So yeah, wild fate for the Rat King. It was also the same for the Mirage comics for sure. But it's very nice Mikey and Donnie did find Splinter, and he's like, "My sons, you have found me." But they do rescue Splinter, as they gotta make their next move against the Super Shredder. But Super Shredder is going to his limits, as I said earlier, and he actually smashes Baxter Stockman, and he ends up punching Tiger Claw, and he forces more mutagen into his system, and it's like really beating at his heart, and it ends with Super Shredder stronger than ever. So this episode was really good. It like explores like Splinter's psyche like one last time with the Rat King. Yeah, it was a nice way to have him in it, even though we haven't seen the Rat King in a while. It shows how deadly of a threat Super Shredder is becoming, and it shows that he doesn't care about Karai, because he's now willing to hurt her. And it's more shown in the later episodes, but I'll save that for later. But this episode's easily a 10 out of 10. I don't think I had any issues. Nope. But anyway, the next episode, I think, is where they go back to the, I guess, somewhat regular episodes before they get to the bigger stuff. But anyway, this episode's a 10 out of 10. But thanks for watching, and Turtle Power.